And a very happy TGIF to you. This is your Weather or Not morning forecast brought to you by On Target. Weather or Not meteorologist Evan Hatter here with you on this Friday morning. The weekend is almost here, and the good news is we're going to be seeing at least a brief pause from the active weather for now, but that comes roaring back as we head into next week. A look on the radar this morning, no rain out there, but you do notice that kind of blooming look right there, west and southwest of Bowling Green. That's not rain. Those are roost rings. That is birds taking flight this morning as the sun comes up. You see another one there on the border just outside of Wobbles. We're really kind of where Muhlenberg, Ohio, and Butler counties all come together. Those are the birds taking off this morning. So yeah, the birds getting started early, and so are we out there this morning. As a matter of fact, let's pause the loop. You can see where the birds are headed, and let's turn on the satellite imagery, and you can see we are socked in with clouds this morning as a stationary boundary continues to separate the high pressure over the far southeast and, well, quieter weather off to the north and west. And that's going to continue to be a trend as we head through the next week or so. Views outside this morning, yeah, we're dealing with a little bit of fog in places. Wide Square Weather Nestcam overlooking the campus of Western Kentucky University from Van Meter Hall. Mostly cloudy skies out there this morning. It is a bit on the overcast side. You do see a few of those, or at least a little bit of that fog there. You see Pierce Ford Tower just above the Wide Square Weather logo there, and further on into the distance, a little hazy look to things. And it's that fog out there this morning. Shouldn't last too long, though, with the overcast we've had, but just watch out for some of those areas. Same thing on our Sexton Bin Builders Gold City Skycam. Looking to the west, a little bit of that evapotranspiration out there this morning. You're using a $10 word to talk about how the moisture evaporating from some of the crops out there are helping with some of the moisture on the ground this morning. Yeah, that's definitely the case. As we head out there this morning, let's take a look at the temperatures through the region, and you see we are on the mild and muggy side. Low 70s out there as we get started on this Friday morning. It continues to be a mild and muggy summer, as you'd expect out there, and we talked about the mild. There's the muggy. Dew points are in the upper 60s to low 70s out there this morning. So the dew point and the air temperature very close together, indicating a lot of that moisture in the air. And with that stationary boundary not completely settling off to the south, that's going to lead to the potential for a few more downpours out there today, but not like we've seen the past couple of days. In fact, high resolution rapid refresh as we head through the rest of the morning into the afternoon. You see that weak disturbance trying to push against that frontal boundary, and as we warm up into the 80s this afternoon, that's when we'll see the potential for a few of these downpours to pop up in the heat of the afternoon. So we're not looking at anything huge out there, but it's still something to keep an eye on as we work through the afternoon. If you do have maybe outdoor plans, have a backup there. It shouldn't last too long. The only difference here is we're not looking at a scenario where we're dealing with a lot of heavy wind so much as we're dealing with very slow-moving downpours that can drop a lot of heavy rain in a very short period of time. So keep a close eye on places that flood frequently. For instance, I don't know, let's just throw out a random Fairview Plaza. If we happen to get a shower right on top of the city, that's something to keep an eye on as we head through the morning hours. You see, some of those downpours continue to drop off once we lose the heat of the afternoon into our Friday afternoon. This same pattern holds as we head into the day on our Saturday. This is the high-res NAM looking at things, and again, it shows a few of those pop-ups out there this afternoon under mostly cloudy skies. We drift those off as we head through the nighttime hours and welcome them back, at least potentially as we head into the morning hours. Some drier air will try to entrain, and with the disturbance off to the west, we may see some drier conditions as we head into the day on Saturday. Certainly Saturday looks like the pick of the weekend, especially when you compare it to Sunday, which looks like a potentially soggy one out there. Even, you see, by even mid-morning, we're already talking showers and thunderstorms developing as that system continues to work in, interact with our rather warm and humid air mass. So it looks like if we're talking picks of the weekend, Saturday is looking better for outdoor plans than Sunday, though we are going to be dealing with some toasty temperatures and quite humid conditions. So just bear that in mind as we head through the weekend time frame on both days, but I think the drier day looks to be on Saturday. Here's the upper air pattern. Let's take this up into the atmosphere about halfway to the tropopause, and you'll see what we're talking about. This is a rough generalization of our pattern as we head into next week. Weak little trough of, just a weak little trough moving through the northern tier into southern Canada and the northeast, kind of butting up against the big heat dome ridge across the southern plains. It's just a little displaced further to the west where it usually is at this point, and those will interact to almost funnel those systems in our direction. Northwest flow, we call it. So when it's not raining, it will be hot, it will be humid, heat indices close to the triple digits as we head through the middle and latter part of next week. But this time of year, when you deal with northwest flow, you can indeed deal with some shower and thunderstorm activity. Not necessarily severe, but yeah, you can get some gusty winds and heavy rain out of systems that come like this. We call them MCSs, mesoscale convective systems, and that potential will be there as we head through the middle of next week. In fact, let's zoom it in, and you can see what we're talking about. In fact, let's make sure we're on the latest run here so we can talk about just where we're going with this. There you see the GFS's idea of those showers and storms with us into the day on Sunday, especially early in the day. We'll keep some of those overnight, and as we head toward Monday, notice there's one system moving out of Illinois and Indiana, trying to move into the region. That moves out, but we continue to see the potential for more. There's one. It shows moving from the Great Lakes into further eastern Kentucky. So again, we just have to watch and see where these go. It all depends on exactly where the pattern lines up. But the potential is there for some gusty showers and storms as we head into the next week, mid and late week time frame, as a matter of fact. In fact, let's double check. This is the latest Colorado State, that graphic isn't updated yet, but the latest Colorado State AI machine learning severe weather probabilities showing not off the charts, but you notice that 15% out to the west. That's on Monday. And then as we head toward Tuesday, that starts to move in our direction. Wednesday, same thing. Thursday and Friday, we're kind of stuck in that 5%. We're in 5% on this most of the day. So this is not any kind of big issue, but if we do happen to get those thunderstorm complexes moving close to the region, we'll have to keep an eye on the potential for some gusty winds and heavy rain. No severe weather risk in place from the Storm Prediction Center for the weekend, obviously. Not a whole lot going on. In fact, we're only slightly in that general thunderstorm risk today and tomorrow. Everybody in it on Sunday. No big severe weather risks in place as we head towards next week. That could change as we get closer, but we're not looking at any kind of big-time severe weather threat. But it's something to keep in mind as our stormy pattern looks to move back in as we head towards next week. So that next 5-day forecast presented by Ohio Valley Insurance showing us maybe that spotty storm today and tomorrow with those temperatures mid-80s but muggy. It'll feel like the mid-90s out there. On Sunday, starting to warm up into the mid-80s, but we will watch those afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms bringing us and potentially some heavy rain at times. So again, we're talking, you get under one of these, you can get an inch or two of rain in fairly short order, but down the street, nothing. So just something to keep in mind. Very scattered showers and storms. That continues as we head toward Monday and Tuesday. Notice those highs getting a little warmer, upper 80s Monday into the low 90s by Tuesday, with those temperatures at night staying mild and muggy with those lows in the 70s. In fact, as we head towards the middle of next week, we're looking potentially at temperatures closer to that low to mid 90s area with those heat indices closer to the century mark. So summer's heat not quite done yet as we head into late July and early August, as a matter of fact. That'll do it for me this morning. Weather or not, meteorologist Evan Hatter with a check of your forecast on this Friday morning, presented by On Target. Have a great Friday, everybody, and a great weekend as well.